Welcome back to my channel. For over a decade, the Brown family stood as a strange symbol of unity. One man, 4 wives, and a belief that love could somehow be multiplied instead of divided. To the world, they were unconventional but fascinating. To themselves, they were a family, fragile, flawed, and desperately clinging to the dream that they could make it all work. But that dream, it's gone now. Because behind the smiles, the faith, and the cameras, there was greed. And that greed, Robyn Brown's greed, has finally brought the entire empire crashing down. When Robyn entered the Brown family back in 2010, she was painted as the angel, the fresh start Cody needed. Younger, radiant, and endlessly emotional, she wept on cue and spoke of heartbreak, broken promises, and gratitude for being accepted. But behind that teary smile was calculation. According to people close to the family, Robyn had one goal from the very beginning: Cody all to herself. And slowly, piece by piece, she got exactly that. Her charm hypnotized him. Her soft voice became his comfort. Her tears became his command. While the cameras showed unity, Cody's favoritism became impossible to ignore. The lingering touches, the private jokes, the way his entire demeanor shifted when Robyn entered the room. It was all there, hidden in plain sight. And the other wives? They saw it. They felt it. They lived with it. As years passed, the illusion of equality started to crumble. When the Browns moved to Las Vegas, each wife got her own house. But Robyn's? It stood out, newer, bigger, perfectly furnished. And while everyone else tightened budgets, Cody and Robyn's spending seemed endless. But the real fracture came in Flagstaff. While Janelle, Christine, and Mary searched for affordable rentals, Robyn and Cody moved into a $1 million mansion, the kind of place that screamed royalty while the rest of the family scrambled to survive. Robyn defended it as what's best for the kids. Cody nodded along. But everyone, even the fans, saw through it. It wasn't about the kids. It was about control. It was about image. It was about power. Christine was the first to say what everyone was thinking. In 2021, she shocked the world by announcing her separation from Cody. But behind the scenes, no one was surprised. She felt invisible, one friend confessed. Every conversation, every plan, every prayer, it was all about Robyn. That invisibility became Christine's breaking point and her freedom. Soon after, Janelle followed. The woman who once kept the family financially afloat finally said, enough. She was done funding Robyn's dream life. Even Mary, Cody's first wife, his original partner in faith, finally walked away after decades of emotional abandonment. And just like that, the family that built its empire on the idea of forever dissolved, one wife at a time. With 3 wives gone, reality hit hard. Without their combined income and fan sympathy, Cody and Robyn's castle began to crumble. The mansion that once symbolized their victory became a burden they couldn't afford. Insiders whispered about bills piling up, furniture sold off, jewelry pawned, even family heirlooms disappearing just to keep the lights on. Robyn, desperate, reportedly pushed Cody into new business schemes, even entertaining the idea of selling stories to tabloids. But no one was buying what they were selling anymore. Social media turned brutal. Former fans filled comment sections with icy words. You broke your own family. Hope the mansion was worth it. For years, Robyn wanted Cody's undivided attention. She finally got it. But with no other wives to blame, no family to buffer their tension, she discovered the truth. Cody without power is Cody without charm. The man who once strutted as the patriarch was now bitter, restless, and angry. And all that rage? It landed squarely on Robyn. Arguments became constant. The tears that once softened him now annoyed him. Insiders describe Robyn as emotionally deteriorating, trapped in the very world she fought to create. She climbed to the top of the family pyramid, only to find herself utterly, devastatingly alone. But perhaps the greatest tragedy isn't Robyn's loneliness. It's the damage left behind, the emotional wreckage of the Brown children. Many of them have begun to speak out, their voices trembling with hurt and disappointment. They watched their family fall apart in real time, powerless to stop it. Their own childhood turned into a cautionary tale of love, faith, and betrayal. Robyn's greed didn't just end a marriage. It ended a legacy. And as the dust settles over Coyote Pass, one thing becomes painfully clear. Sometimes, when you fight so hard to have it all, you lose everything that mattered in the first place. For years, the cracks were there, silent, invisible to the outside world, but painfully clear to those who lived inside the Brown family. One of the sons once said, "It was always about them. Always the same daughter, always the same hurt." We all witnessed it. Those words carried the weight of every overlooked child, every silenced voice, and every mother who gave her heart to a family that never truly saw her. "My mom sacrificed everything," the son continued, "and in the end she was thrown aside." That's the truth so many of the Brown children are finally admitting, that Robyn's kids were always the priority. For years, they basked in the glow of their mother's favored status, the new toys, the bigger home, the attention. But when the family fractured, that glow turned cold. The warmth of privilege became isolation. Even Robyn's own children began to feel the chill of what she had built. The once golden center of the family was now just a cold, echoing void. At first, the public still stood behind Robyn. She was the new wife, the outsider trying to fit into an impossible family dynamic. Viewers felt sorry for her, the tears, the trembling voice, the story of struggle. But sympathy has an expiration date. The more Robyn cried, the more people started to see the pattern. The constant defensiveness, the insistence that she was misunderstood, the way she would flatter the other wives while quietly taking more and more. It all became too obvious. By the time the Flagstaff mansion entered the picture, the illusion had shattered completely. Robyn wasn't the victim anymore. She was the architect of the downfall. And when the other wives walked away, public sympathy shifted for good. The internet turned on her, branding her as the woman who broke the Brown family apart. Then came the breaking point, when the money finally ran dry. With Christine, Janelle, and Mary gone, the income that once supported their empire evaporated. The mortgage on the Grand Flagstaff mansion became unpayable. Business ventures failed. TLC, frustrated with the fading drama, reportedly slashed their pay. It was the moment Cody snapped. Witnesses described a furious argument between Cody and Robyn, a shouting match that rattled even the closest insiders. "You wanted this," Cody allegedly yelled. "You wanted me all to yourself, and now look what's left." Robyn cried back, insisting she was only protecting her kids, but the damage was irreversible. The kingdom she'd built on favoritism and manipulation was collapsing, and this time, there was no one left to blame. Meanwhile, the other women, the ones she'd quietly pushed aside, found new life. Christine returned to Utah, radiant, remarried, and glowing with confidence. Her joy is visible, her peace undeniable. She posts photos surrounded by children and love, her laughter real for the first time in years. Janelle turned her focus inward. Health, wellness, family. The calm, grounded energy she once brought to the plural marriage now fuels her independence. She's thriving quietly but powerfully. And then there's Mary, once the most loyal, the most patient, the one who held on the longest. She's taken back her voice. Traveling, building her bed and breakfast brand, reconnecting with herself. You can see it in her eyes. She's stronger, freer, no longer defined by Cody's neglect or Robyn's shadow. Cody and Robyn, once the self-proclaimed power couple at the center of it all, are now reportedly living in a much smaller home, struggling to hold on to the remnants of their former life. Insiders say their marriage is tense, filled with constant arguing and unspoken resentment. The mansion that once symbolized triumph now stands empty, a haunting monument to everything they lost. The Brown family began as an experiment, a vision of modern polygamy built on unity and faith. But it devolved into a cautionary tale. Robyn's ambition may have accelerated the collapse, but the foundation had already cracked. Cody's obsession with control and his choice to elevate one wife above the others destroyed the delicate balance plural marriage needs to survive. In giving Robyn everything, he lost everyone. Now, stripped of fame, fortune, and family, Cody and Robyn live in obscurity while the women they left behind are flourishing. What was once a story of shared love became a lesson in greed and consequence. And yet, amid the wreckage, there is light. Christine said it best in a recent interview. "I don't hate Robyn, I don't even hate Cody, but I had to love myself enough to walk away. You can't build a family on favoritism and lies. Eventually, the truth comes out." Those words echo far beyond reality TV. They speak to anyone who's ever stayed too long, believed too deeply, or sacrificed too much. The Browns' fall isn't just about one man's favoritism or one woman's greed. It's about what happens when love becomes a transaction and loyalty turns into a cage. The luxury, the cameras, the fame, it all vanished. What remained were the truths they could no longer hide. That peace cannot exist where trust has been broken. That power built on pain will always collapse. And that in the end, the ones who choose themselves, Christine, Janelle, and Mary, are the ones who truly win. But just when it seemed like the story was over, another voice rose from the silence. Mary Brown, the first and most loyal of the sister wives, has finally spoken out. In tears, she accused Cody of turning his back not only on her, but on their child, Leon, emotionally, financially, and even physically. She revealed that for years she carried the weight of parenting alone, while Cody disappeared into Robyn's world. And now, after decades of silence, Mary's words are shaking the very foundation of what's left of the Brown family. Because this time, the truth isn't coming from the tabloids, it's coming from inside the house. Inside the house. For years, Mary Brown stood quietly in the background, the loyal first wife, the one who opened her heart to a plural marriage and made room for Janelle, Christine, and later Robyn. She was the foundation of the Brown family, the only legal wife for over 2 decades, and the woman who first believed in Cody's dream of building a unified spiritual household. But as the seasons went by, viewers began to notice something chilling. Mary started to fade, her laughter replaced by silence, her presence dimmed by neglect. Cody's attention shifted elsewhere, and slowly, Mary was erased from the center of her own story. In a tearful interview, Mary revealed the reason she stayed so long. Leon was everything to me, she confessed. I thought if I stayed, maybe Cody would come around. Maybe he'd remember he had a responsibility as a father. But that day never came. When Leon was born, the Brown household was already cracking. Cody showed up at the hospital, smiling for the cameras, but behind those smiles, Mary says there was nothing real. He barely held our baby, she recalled. He said he was too busy, that he had other wives and other children to care for. From the very beginning, Cody was emotionally absent. No midnight feedings, no diaper changes, no school plays. As Leon grew older, the pattern continued. Missed birthdays, skipped milestones, and endless excuses. For years, Mary stayed silent. She worked tirelessly, running her bed and breakfast, maintaining side businesses, while watching Cody funnel family money into Robyn's mansion and lifestyle. When she finally confronted him, his response was ice cold. He told me Leon already had everything they needed because they had me, she said bitterly. But what about a father? Doesn't my child deserve that too? Then came the breaking point. Last year, when Leon was hospitalized for a serious illness, Mary says she called Cody repeatedly. I begged him to come, she said, her voice trembling. Leon was crying for him, but he never showed up, not even a phone call. Instead, Cody allegedly spent the day with Robyn. That moment, Mary says, shattered something inside her forever. That's when I realized he was never going to be the father Leon needed. When the cameras rolled for the latest season of Sister Wives, Mary finally confronted him. Viewers remember the moment, her eyes filled with rage and heartbreak. You abandoned our child, she said. You don't show up. You don't call. You don't care. How can you stand there and pretend to be a good father? Cody, visibly cornered, snapped back. You've always been difficult, Mary. You push me away and then blame me when I'm not there. But Mary didn't flinch. This isn't about me, she shot back. It's about Leon. They deserve a father who shows up, not just a man who performs for the cameras. The confrontation ignited a wildfire across the family. Christine, who had already left Cody, publicly sided with Mary. She's absolutely right, Christine said. Cody was never there for Leon. Mary carried that burden alone. Even Janelle, known for her calm, agreed. Yes, he was stretched thin, she said, but that's no excuse. Every child deserves both parents to be present. But Robyn, as expected, defended him. People don't understand Cody, she insisted. He loves all his kids. He just gets misjudged. Then after years of silence, Leon spoke. In a quiet, vulnerable post that shook fans across social media, they wrote, I love my dad, but Mom's right. He was never there. She was my support system. She was everything. I just wish he had tried harder. The post went viral within hours. Hashtags like touching justice for Leon and touching Team Mary flooded timelines. Neglecting your child is never acceptable, one fan wrote. Mary and Leon deserved better, another added. Cody's attempts to repair his image only made things worse. In an interview, he claimed, I love all my children. I know I've made mistakes, but I've always done my best. But fans weren't buying it. He refused to apologize directly to Leon, saying only, I'll reach out when the time is right. To many, it sounded like another excuse, another deflection. But Mary wasn't done. Sources close to her claim she's preparing to take legal action, seeking back child support and a public apology for years of emotional neglect. "This isn't revenge," she said. "It's justice, and for Leon, and for every child who's ever been left behind." Meanwhile, Leon continues to heal. In a heartfelt video, they admitted, "I still see him with Robyn's kids, laughing, hugging, and I wonder why he couldn't do that for me." It's a haunting reflection, one that mirrors the pain of countless children who grow up feeling invisible. But amidst that pain, Leon's courage has become a light for others. Messages of love and support have poured in. "You're brave. Don't let his choices define your worth." Mary's story has become something bigger than one family's drama. It's a message to every parent who's been silenced, every child who's been overlooked, and every person who's ever stayed too long hoping love would change someone. "Don't ever let anyone make you feel like you or your child don't matter," Mary said in a recent live stream. "Stand up. Speak out. Fight for what's right. I wish I'd done it sooner, but I'm doing it now." Her words hit home, sparking a wave of stories from fans who have lived through the same pain: absentee fathers, emotional neglect, and the battle to reclaim self-worth. Today, Mary is thriving. She continues to run her bed and breakfast, travel, and share messages of empowerment. Leon is in therapy, rebuilding, and creating a future outside the shadow of the show. As for Cody, he remains with Robyn, but sources say cracks are showing. The man who once ruled over 4 wives now finds himself alienated, criticized, and questioned. And maybe that's the real lesson here. Because in the end, this isn't just about Mary and Leon. It's about every parent who refused to give up. Every child who deserved more. It's about the cost of favoritism, the price of neglect, and the power of a mother's love. From pain came strength. From silence came truth. And from heartbreak came hope. This is Mary Brown's redemption story, and it's far from over. Redemption story, and it's far from over. Christine finally realized something that had been quietly gnawing at her for years. Cody just didn't care enough. And in that moment, a painful truth hit her. She wasn't merely disappointed. She was alone. Leaving Cody wasn't just a breakup. It was the end of a 40-year lifestyle, a family model, a belief system she had lived by. "I was scared," she admitted. "But I also knew that if I stayed, I would be teaching my kids that it's okay to accept crumbs. That's not what I want them to learn about love." With the unwavering support of her children and closest friends, Christine packed her life into boxes, left Flagstaff behind, and returned to Utah. She wasn't just leaving a marriage, she was stepping into herself. And life had other plans. Through mutual friends, she met David Woolley, a patient, gentle man who treated her with the care she hadn't felt in decades. "From the first time I met him, it was different," Christine said, smiling. "He listened. He made me feel that I mattered." David, a widower with older children, understood her past. He never pressured her, never rushed her. He simply gave her the space to trust again. With David, Christine discovered what real love feels like. "He tells me I'm beautiful every day," she shared. "He holds my hand. He texts me just to say he misses me. It's the little things. Things Cody never did." Her smile returned, brighter than ever. Photos of them hiking, cooking, laughing, and living life together began to surface, and fans noticed. "You deserve this happiness," one commented. "So proud of you, Christine," wrote another. But the past wasn't ready to stay buried. Despite keeping her distance, Christine and Cody were occasionally forced to meet over co-parenting and property matters. At first, she remained calm, professional, and focused. But then Cody crossed a line with a cruel jab. "So what?" he sneered. "You think you've upgraded? You really think this guy is better than me?" Something inside Christine snapped. The room went silent. Then, quivering yet resolute, she said the words that would echo through the history of sister wives. "Do you want to know what I think? I hate you. I hate you." Every camera seemed to freeze. Every breath in the room held tight. "I hate the way you treated me all those years," she continued, eyes blazing with years of repressed pain. "I despised the way you dismissed me, made me feel insignificant. How you treated me like I was nothing. I despised wasting so much of my life hoping you'd love me." Cody stood frozen, his face blank. After a long pause, he finally whispered, "You don't mean that." But Christine's gaze was steady. "I do," she replied, "because now I know what love actually feels like. And it's not you." The family watched. Janelle, ever the voice of reason, said, She was just the only one courageous enough to tell him to his face. Mary, quietly supportive, nodded. I think she needed to say it, she admitted. Robyn, emotional, could not understand. She didn't have to be so cruel, she said tearfully. Cody, in later interviews, tried to downplay the moment. She was emotional, he shrugged. She doesn't really hate me. She's just mad. But those who knew him said the words hit harder than he would ever admit. Christine finally gave it to him and it shook him, Janelle observed. Fans erupted online. Christine's declaration became an iconic moment in Sister Wives history. And David, always supportive, quietly smiled. She's mine now, he said. And I plan on making her happy every single day. After the dust settled, Christine felt both exhausted and free. I spent so many years pretending everything was fine, but it wasn't, she admitted. Saying those words, telling him I hated him, it felt like I was finally taking my power back. She credits David with helping her find that strength. He reminded me what it feels like to be loved, she said. And once you know that feeling, there's no going back to someone who makes you feel invisible. Now, Christine is not just moving on, she's thriving. She travels, laughs, and shares authentic moments with her children and grandchildren. But her journey has also become a mission. Speaking at women's conferences, she encourages others to claim their worth. Don't waste years being unhappy. You deserve to be loved completely and fully. Meanwhile, Cody remains with Robyn and her kids, but sources say his mood swings and simmering anger make it far from a fairy tale. Christine's courage, her reclamation of power and love has created a lasting legacy, a beacon of strength, self-respect, and emotional authenticity. Cody Brown is no longer the quiet, overlooked wife. She is a woman who dared to leave, dared to speak, and ultimately dared to love again, on her own terms. Cody Brown's journey from heartbreak to empowerment is nothing short of legendary. The moment she finally looked Cody in the eye and said, "I hate you," wasn't a petty remark. It was liberation. For years, she carried the weight of neglect, of being unseen, and in that instant, she reclaimed herself. That statement didn't just echo through their old home, it shook the world of Sister Wives. Fans debated endlessly. Was it cruel or completely justified? Christine didn't care. She needed Cody to hear it, to feel the hurt he had caused, and to understand the consequences of his actions. Today, Christine and David are thriving. Their love is gentle, steady, and undeniable. On social media, she shares glimpses of their life together. Family meals, camping trips, and smiles that radiate freedom and joy. She calls David her soulmate, her rock, her safe place. Meanwhile, Cody struggles. His relationships with his older children remain tense, his public reputation tarnished, and his once dominant presence on the show has quietly faded. Janelle and Mary are flourishing too. Free from Cody's shadow, they are traveling, building careers, and rediscovering themselves. Christine's message resonates. You matter. You are enough. You deserve love the way you've always dreamed. Don't settle. Thousands of fans have echoed her words, inspired to claim their own freedom. But the drama didn't end with Christine. The tides turned. This time, Cody faced the fallout with Robyn, the wife he once favored above all others. In an emotional confrontation, he admitted, "I lost everything because of you. I'm bankrupt." Years of indulgence, favoritism, and financial recklessness had caught up with him. Robyn, who had entered the family in 2010 as a single mother of 3, had been treated as the favored wife. Luxury homes, extravagant vacations, and seemingly limitless resources were lavished upon her, while Janelle and Mary struggled to maintain basic stability. The disparity became glaring, fueling resentment, judgment, and ultimately downfall. Soon after, reality struck. Court records confirmed what fans had suspected. Cody Brown was officially bankrupt. Mortgaged homes, delinquent taxes, maxed out credit cards, a once powerful patriarch reduced to surviving in a small Flagstaff apartment. Robyn remained in the empty mansion, stunned by the collapse, realizing too late that luxury came at a devastating cost. The other wives didn't celebrate Cody's misfortune. They spoke with honesty. Christine: "I pity her, but not that much. She knew what was going on." Janelle: "I'm thankful every day that I got out." Mary: "They made their bed. Now they can lie in it." For years vilified as jealous or resentful, fans now saw the women for what they were: strong, patient, deeply wronged, and unapologetically surviving. Cody himself confessed privately, "I invested everything I had in Robyn, and I lost everyone else in the deal." Raw, exposed, and heavy with regret, it may have been too late. Meanwhile, Christine, David, Janelle, and Mary continue to thrive, their lives a stark contrast to the solitude and regret now surrounding Cody and Robyn. The Flagstaff mansion stands empty, the children scattered across the country, some keeping distance from their father, others holding on to bonds with the wives who nurtured and supported them. Social media tells the tale: joy, family, resilience. Christine, reflecting on everything, said it best: "I would have left sooner, but I don't regret a thing. I walked away with my dignity, my kids, and a new chance at love. I'm finally happy." The saga of the Browns isn't just tabloid drama, it's a cautionary tale. Favoritism, denial, and selfish choices can crumble the mightiest empires. You can't demand loyalty when you've loved only one, and you can't build a family on unequal footing. The ones who walked away didn't lose, they gained freedom. And that, my friends, is the lasting legacy of the sister wives story.